Good Monday afternoon. Thanks for stopping by Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com because meteorology rocks, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and this is the daily video forecast discussion to a not-so-nice Monday, the 9th of June, 2014. We still have some light rain from rain that moved over the region this morning. We'll show you that in just a moment. We do have fog as a result of the dew points and air temperatures being pretty uniform. They're basically right now at noontime around the upper 60s. Across the entire metropolitan area, there is some fog around the northeastern half of New Jersey and Essex, Passaic, Bergen, Hudson, Union, Middlesex counties. In the fog into New York City, Staten Island, Long Island also has fog throughout the region during this afternoon. And all skies are basically cloudy here, and the winds are very light out of the east. We have no land or sea watches, warnings, or advisories, but we do have rain that's left over from the batch that moved through the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area and the coastal sections early this morning. It's now on to Islip and out towards the eastern ends of Long Island, also into southeastern Connecticut here, the North Shore of Long Island Sound, and the southern shores of Connecticut around Bridgeport, New Haven, and Fairfield in the rain right now. And as that mesoscale convective complex moved across portions of Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York yesterday, we had a number of areas here reporting hail, and in western Pennsylvania, just south of Pittsburgh, also into Morgantown, western Virginia. We had lots of reports of thunderstorm wind damage here across areas in the Virginias as well, as we can see here, and also across portions where we had flooding in southern New York State. Plenty of rainfall over the last 24 hours. We've had anywhere from about a half of an inch to an inch in locally heavy thunderstorms across the Maryland and Virginia. Also lesser amounts in central and southern New Jersey. But look at this, amounts of better than an inch in spots here according to some of the networks this morning. Almost an inch or so of precipitation as that rain moved right over the region. Linden Airport, which is the National Weather Service FAA site, reported about 1.79 inches of rainfall in just a 12-hour period, 1.38 inches within a 6-hour period during early this morning. Rain seems to be washing some of the pollen levels down, but still we're in the low to the medium range today right through the rest of the week, especially on Tuesday, where we're going to find pollen amounts from grass maybe in the moderate side during tomorrow, and then chances of precipitation again on and off on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, lowering the amounts of pollen dispersal, but nonetheless there are quite a bit of pollen still left in the air, and it's muggy. Latest storm total reports coming in from the National Weather Service in Mount Holly, New Jersey, 1.60 inches, about over an inch and a half this morning in Ascian in Burlington County, over an inch of rain in Jacksonville, nearly an inch in Delran Township, and about a half of an inch at the forecast office in Mount Holly. Nearly an inch in Pennsauken and Somerdale, half of an inch of rain. And we still see some reports in Hunterdon County, almost an inch and a half in Clinton, and also at Lebanon, over an inch in Califon this morning. And these were from the Mesonet sites here across the region. 2.13 inches in New Brunswick. This is a Co-op observer reporting in with that from New Brunswick this morning. 1.55 inches in Middlesex, and over an inch here in Old Bridge as of early this morning. Somerset County, 1.74 in Watchung. Far Hills, 1.63, 1.55 in Middlebush, and the amounts just keep coming. 1.2 inches, 1.2 inches at Bound Brook, and 1.17 in Somerville. It was a lot of heavy rain that moved across the region this morning and made traveling conditions very difficult and slow. And of course, this weekend was spectacular. A lot of people in the water and at the beaches, so we can see them from the webcams throughout the weekend. Today is not one of these days with these cumulus clouds and waves coming in. Got cloudy skies with showers, isolated thunderstorms, temperatures in the lower 70s, southerly winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour, seas around 3 feet, and the surf temperature is about 65. UVI index today, they say, is going to be 8 with clearing later. That's very high. And there is a low threat for rip currents today. However, rip currents can be possible elsewhere, especially during the lower portion of the tide cycle. Swim in areas where lifeguards are present and talk with them about the hazards in the surf zone. Latest visible image early this afternoon says we're shrouded in clouds. There's breaks in the overcast from central and southern New Jersey, but coastal areas are still locked in. There's a little bit of clearing here across the Delaware River Valley area. There's portions of southeastern Pennsylvania as well on the visible satellite. We're still locked in with stratus and clouds, and still plenty of moisture here with additional lifting going on through the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys here. The initial lifting that was responsible for the heavier rain this morning is now offshore. Latest radar mosaic shows that rain exiting across southern Connecticut, central and eastern Long Island, and it's out of here. There's some additional moisture here across the Carolinas here and the Virginias, and this is also exiting to the east. Once again, taking a look at the latest 78 flood gauges here in the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania region, right through the 18th of June, we're not finding any major flooding being forecasted from any of these main stem gauges here. For the aviational weather deck, we still have MVFR, limited IFR, also IFR, and of course we have some VFR too. We got a lot of things mixed in here. For the rest of today, mostly MVFR conditions throughout the region. Ceilings late this morning will gradually improve back to VFR range into the afternoon hours as somewhat drier air moves into the region from the southwest, as we showed you on the visible satellite. As far as shower activity, somewhat of a break in the action expected through late morning, which is going on right now. The possibility of more activity by mid to late afternoon. While we cannot rule out thunder today, confidence on location or timing of any occurrence is not high enough at this time to include in the terminal area forecast discussions. For tonight, basically MVFR or lower in areas of fog and stratus, soupy air mass in place. Winds will remain out of the south tonight. Confidence is moderate on that. Outlook Tuesday through Wednesday night, predominantly VFR during this period. Some MVFR conditions and showers and isolated thunderstorms, especially early Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon, as well as morning clouds and fog. A decent portion of the period could end up dry with moderate confidence in that forecast. Thursday through Friday, greater coverage of showers and thunderstorms, increasing chances as we approach Friday with more MVFR and locally IFR conditions in precipitation, as well as early morning clouds and fog, and moderate confidence on that forecast verifying. And right now outside of Newark, it's 67 degrees, dew point 65, obviously humidity 93%. Visibility is 9 miles with light drizzle and fog. Overcast at 600 feet. And right now that is IFR conditions. Outside of Philadelphia right now, it's 77 degrees already. The temperature's really spiked up. Look at the difference here. 67 in Newark, where we're shrouded in clouds. There's breaks in the overcast here at Philadelphia, improving conditions, 77 degrees already. Dew point, uncomfortable, 66 degrees. Humidity, 69%. Air is stagnant. Visibility, 9 miles with broken ceilings at about 18,000. Overcast at 4,000. Few clouds at 800. It's a soupy air mass in place there, and we're expecting improving conditions from the Delmarva region through the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area during the afternoon. Latest afternoon early surface map from weatheroanoke.com and digital atmosphere software shows a little bit of a lot of things going on here. There's our rain exiting central and eastern Long Island, southern Connecticut too. Quite a lot of rainfall here. We discussed that. We have a weak frontal boundary here with a trough axis weakening here. This is showing a weakening in the trough and a nearly stationary boundary just to the west. This is all kind of collapsing, but still holding itself together. Meanwhile, we have low pressure here as this disturbance moves to the north and east and away from the region. And this frontal boundary here to the south, this means that precipitation chances are increasing with deep low pressure cutting off in the means across the central plains. This is all going to be a problem going ahead into the future for the next couple of days, although we might get a little bit of a break with high pressure briefly ridging in across the region later today through tomorrow, and then precipitation chances once again ramp up as this disturbance here out in the central plains moves in our direction. And this hourly goes sounding about 20 miles southwest of Philadelphia Airport, shows the saturation in the atmosphere with a little bit of skinny cape here. This is a very skinny cape. This is elevated cape, and above 850 to 700 millibars all the way up to 600 millibars. So we're not really anticipating anything other than an elevated cape here. Very saturated low levels, and we find that the drying in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere occurs at basically about 12,000 to 14,000 feet up in the atmosphere, is a very soupy and saturated air mass in place right now. This next graphic here from the storm, actually from the Storm Prediction Center's mesoscale analysis, shows the water vapor or precipitable water content in the atmosphere. That's why the areas received so much rainfall earlier today, with 1.7 inches of convective liquid precipitation quantity in the clouds. And basically, this is lowering now towards northwestern New Jersey and Philadelphia. Some breaks in the overcast are appearing, and this is also indicative across the central and southern Appalachians here. But then we get into the Midwest, where all of this moisture here, 1.9 in the darker greens here, this is all precipitable water values along that stationary boundary, and low pressure developing here in the Central Plains that will be moving in our direction during the next 24 hours. So a break for it later this afternoon right through tomorrow, and then back again comes the moderate to heavy rainfall. Google Earth Streamline analysis early this afternoon shows our strong high pressure ridge off of the mid-Atlantic coast states well out into the ocean, pumping in a southerly flow of air into the region. We have a diffuse area of low pressure along that old frontal boundary, which is dying out now through central and southern Pennsylvania. This is current. The airflow here across the region is basically coming in from the south and then spinning off into this area of low pressure, which is weakening along the dying or decaying frontal boundary across this region that we just showed you on the surface chart a few minutes ago. And we've got other areas of low pressure just here off to the south of the region through the Virginias and the Carolinas, and then the stream flow then turns more towards this deepening area of low pressure here, basically high pressure across the Great Lakes region, and this is leading into an area where we're going to find moisture increasing across this region with a convergence here of the two streams, the polar stream and the subtropical stream here, and this means trouble going into the future with a break of action in between. Latest high resolution rapid refresh model shows the rainfall now moving out across the region, but we're still in an area where we find that low pressure center across central Pennsylvania making slow progress in a very slow flow parallel, as we showed in the streamline analysis across the region. And moisture increases during this afternoon. We could find some showers, even a low top thunderstorm or elevated thunderstorm with heavier rain across the region as we get into ports of Pennsylvania, into central and southern New Jersey. Again, more showers, clearing skies. There's some breaks in the action here as the showers move towards the New York area by late this afternoon, early tonight. And then we're just left over with fog and drizzle around the coastal sections, high and mid-level clouds as some drier air tries to make its way in across the region late tonight near midnight. But fog will be evident and stratus will be evident across Long Island and New York, most of Long Island Sound, southern shores of Connecticut, north shore of Long Island Sound as well, parts of interior areas where the moisture is saturated in the lower levels here across the Hudson Valley, and of course some of this offshore getting close to the shoreline of New Jersey as well. Just to note on the HRR model too, this is our next area of showers and thunderstorms, which will be heading in across the Virginias very shortly after midnight into the early morning hours. They're breaking the action here as weak high pressure and some slightly drier air takes hold, but then more rain is on the way. It's not really a pretty picture going to the future. This is an AM forecast, WRF model, composite reflectivity forecast for Penn State seawall site. Basically, we've got partial clearing in some areas and basically just moisture loaded in the lower layers of the atmosphere, enough lifting with weak frontal boundary in place, diffuse frontal boundary in place, diurnal heating during the afternoon hours. Again, could find showers around the region, light rain around the region, some moderate pockets too on Tuesday. Then partial sunshine and very warm temperatures on Tuesday afternoon leads to instability in the atmosphere. Again, a few showers and thunderstorms cannot be ruled out, as we can see by Tuesday afternoon very discreetly across around Mercer County here. Parts of Hunterdon, Somerset, Mercer, and Burlington counties could be getting in on the action tomorrow afternoon. It finally lifts off. There'll be a fair amount of clearing in certain regions and a fair amount of showers and thunderstorms in others. And then as we go through, let's back this up now, Uh, as we go through the day on Tuesday into Tuesday evening, we get into a clearing pattern, but then the moisture is loaded in the lower layers, socked in the atmosphere. Frontal boundary nearing the area, warm frontal boundary approaching the region, unsettled conditions, very humid conditions, stratus low clouds in the region, abundant showers and scattered thunderstorms throughout the region, mostly convective, elevated convection, if that. So just leading to some pockets of moderate to heavy rain. And broadly, by Wednesday afternoon, we become a warm sector with the warm front lifting well to the north and temperatures soaring on Wednesday and Thursday. And then we get into more of a warmer air mass here with pockets of clearing and then diffuse showers and thunderstorms across the region just to our south and west. It's the kind of air mass difference exchange that we're in with rain clouds and showers, thunderstorms around the region, temperatures upper 70s, lower 80s by Wednesday afternoon. But look at this in the Delmarva region. We're talking just to the southwest of the Delmarva region, portions of that into the Virginias here. Temperatures in the upper 80s and low to mid 90s. A very unstable air mass. This one is going to lead to very strong showers and thunderstorms, not widespread, but isolated in nature, and they're really going to come down heavy across this region. The GFS model is suffering from convective feedback, so we're going to reanalyze the information during later this afternoon and this evening with an update to the video forecast discussion in the graphical form later this evening. For Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a safe Monday afternoon out there, and we'll be back with you later this evening.